the story of ABN, the African Biodiversity Network, is actually a real story of an organization that has emerged from nothing to what it is today. The main thing that ABN has actually structured around and evolved around is what we call inter-community, intergenerational, or community dialogues. So the word dialogue for ABN has a very, very deep meaning. For ABN and the partners, we only accompany the communities to work on the issues that they have identified. So we never tell them that we are coming with solutions. We do not make solutions for the people. So we only give them, provide a forum for them to dialogue, to reflect on the issues, the problems, the challenges, and then they identify priority activities that they want to move on with, and we accompany them along this. Our advocacy has been a different kind of advocacy, where communities identify all these challenges that they face: the climate change, genetic engineering, the Alliance for Green Revolution in Africa, which is actually about chemicals and more chemical inputs in Africa, and new seeds and the like. So all the problems, including land grabbing that is happening in the name of investments. So all these problems, we address them through advocacy. So advocacy is actually making the people aware of the enemy without, including the enemy within. Because at the moment, the enemies without are working with the enemies within, and this is how they are subduing African communities. Many communities in Africa are not really communities. You can say they are communities because they are being called by this name, but they are individuals, and they live as individuals. But some of the challenges they are facing today cannot be addressed by individuals. They can only address them as communities. So we talk with them about how they can become communities again. Can communities themselves look for solutions that actually address their challenges and which are in their control? Because a lot of the solutions that are coming from without are not in the control of the the beneficiaries. It's the benefactors who are controlling this. And this is why Africa cannot develop. So if we have indigenous solutions, that's the only time that Africa will develop. And that is where we as ABN are moving towards, where communities take charge of their destiny. And the most important thing to begin with is to have the people produce their own food. Because if they are hungry, then they can be swayed from whichever side. But if they control their own food, the rest will be history. So we have realized, and it is not only us in ABN, it's sort of the whole world is realizing that the salvation of this world is hinged on indigenous knowledge. We have moved so far with the scientific knowledge, but now we are being stopped. No. We are being told, no, stop, reflect, think. Where you are headed for may not be the right place. But we are also realizing that Africa, especially, has been left behind. These other places, Latin America, Asia, indigenous knowledge in those places has been promoted and taken very well. But in Africa, this has not happened. So for us, it's reflecting and asking, why is this happening? Is it that we do not have indigenous knowledge in Africa? What could be the problem? But we are also realizing that there are historical prejudices against indigenous knowledge in Africa. So this is where we want to take our people from, to tell them that the elders, the men and women, those who are old, they have something to contribute to development and protection of Africa today. We work with both old men and women, and when they are dialoguing, when they are discussing, things emerge. So for us, one critical important principle in the work that we do is the principle of emergence. So we do not go and tell people, this is what you need to do. You people are hungry, so you need to get these seeds. You need to do A, B, C, D. But we give them an opportunity to talk, to discuss. And then out of those discussions, things emerge. And the things that have emerged, one of these things actually has been a process we call climate, seeds, and knowledge. We have realized that for most of African communities who depend on biodiversity, then local seeds, both of crops and animals, are very, very important. A lot of work has been done to change the indigenous crops and even to bring new ones, and especially the hybrids of seeds, the new seeds. So a lot of our indigenous seeds have actually disappeared, and those that are remaining are now being targeted for genetic modification. We have to bring back life to our soils. So we have to be innovative enough. And it is not only ABN that is doing that. There are many people who are doing this. Organizations like UNEP have recognized that organic agriculture, organic farming could be one of the solutions for the African situation. The unfortunate thing is that all those who are contributing solutions are actually party to the problem. And this is the main problem for Africa, that we have problems there, but the solutions are actually external. Our own solutions in Africa are not given a priority. We know of Kyoto Protocol. We know of so many other protocols that we have put down with pen, but we are not following this. Cartagena Protocol. It has been used to marginalize and actually to destroy Africa's biodiversity. We also look for very innovative ways of bringing this knowledge to life. And one of the processes that we have used is ecological mapping. And ecological mapping is actually a very simple way of making sketch maps by people who map their territory. So the people who have this knowledge are the elders again. So they come together and they put all the things that they know about their territory, and especially from the past. So they map their territory, how it used to be in the past, how it is at present. They compare how things used to be in those times, how things are today, and they see the difference. So they see the reason why they are experiencing the challenges and the situations they are in today. And then they think through what kind of future would they like. So they map that down. The other thing that we actually try to do a lot is a process we call intergenerational learning. And it's not unique to African Biodiversity Network. It's being done by other people. If we say today that this knowledge is important, and at all these international protocols and agreements that we are signing, people are talking about the need or the usefulness of indigenous knowledge, then why aren't we teaching it? Why is it not being taught? And if it cannot be taught in schools, why aren't we creating spaces for it to be shared by elders? Then the other issues that we have actually addressed concerns sacred sites, because all these things we are looking at are interconnected in one way or another. Food production is connected to good soils, is connected to sacredness of ecosystems, is connected to spirituality of our people, because for some communities in Africa, all this is actually their life. There is a movement that is actually targeting sacred sites today, and especially around issues of mining, because they have recognized that most of these sacred sites that are protected by local people have mineral deposits. Now, this realization is putting our work again in jeopardy. We work so hard to protect with the communities, but then investors come to destroy the same ecosystems that we are trying to protect. Earth jurisprudence is actually not a new jurisprudence, but it is acknowledging that communities, indigenous communities, have their own legal relationship with their earth, with the territory. The issue of sacred sites is part of earth jurisprudence. Customary laws, the norms that people have, all form aspects of earth jurisprudence. But it is also the realization that human beings are not the only beings in the world. If you just consider yourself as human beings, as the rightful owners of the rest of the beings, then that is where the problem is coming from, because we regard them as resources. So we have to extract them. We go cutting down trees, we go game hunting, we go doing all those things that we do. But we need to remember that they are not infinite, they are finite. And when they reach that level, we also become finite.